Wonderful question. Does gifting to my kids every month make sense? This is going to require a little bit of a detailed response. And before we get there, I'd like you to consider a friend who's being challenged with a what if scenario. Maybe how to utilize their assets in the long term by giving them to their kids in some way. When you've shared this video, it's helped them. We would appreciate it, as will they. I'm Valerie Zinmetti, an estate planning attorney in New York and New Jersey, and we're here to educate everyone for free. So please ask us your questions, and hopefully together we're going to help some folks along the way. While outright gifting can sometimes assist certain families with their goals, it is not typically the most leveraged or protective way to do so, either for yourself or for your beneficiaries. And depending on your overall gifting plan, we would guide you more towards a trust because it offers up to 6 different types of benefits, I would say. First, the assets can be kind of repealed and peeled back to you if they end up being needed in certain circumstances. You can maintain some use of those assets in certain states during your lifetime, such as an income right. All right. New York Medicaid trusts, asset protection trusts, offer income flow to the creator of the trust. New Jersey's do not. And I only mention those 2 because that's where I'm licensed. Some of these, you also have the ability, and many of them, it depends on the type, but you can also live or utilize the real property owned by that trust. The third potential benefit is your beneficiaries could receive what's called a step up in basis of those assets. This essentially says that because you hold enough rights to those assets, you're considered the owner of it at your passing. So instead of, let's say, a stock that you bought at $10 having a gain up to the current value, your beneficiaries actually would acquire it at the value at your passing, so they could sell it the next day and have no capital gains consequences. That's a third potential benefit. Fourth, you could always build in creditor insulation for your beneficiaries. It's not really available through direct bequests or gifting of any kind. Fifth, your beneficiaries' creditors cannot impact your assets, right? So say something did shift majorly and you had to pull back these assets and you couldn't protect them for the next generation and you needed them yourself. If you've gifted them outright, you no longer have that ease and flexibility to pull them back, right? And the creditors of that person can take those assets away, whereas that wouldn't happen within a trust. And lastly, if you're doing like a continual gifting program and the hope is to have some asset protection, one of the main asset protection worries across the country is long-term care costs. If you're continuing to make gifts on a repeated basis, those gifts are transfers and starts the look-back period at every single transfer. So really, you're just pushing your period of eligibility for Medicaid a month later, a month later, a month later, a month later, at least by the amount that you're gifting at that time. However, if you do want your children, grandchildren, beneficiaries, whomever they may be, to benefit now, and you want to see them enjoy the assets that you've worked hard for, outright gifts of some kind can be a great tool. And I would just strategize how you do this over the years. I would, quite frankly, utilize it not necessarily in direct gifts, but perhaps paying for a family vacation and things that are going to be out of the scrutiny of, say, Medicaid if and when you need to appeal to them for your assistance. I hope that you've learned something new here today. Choose to share. And as always, please take care.